Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into some incredibly eye-opening insights from Agile transformation coach Priyanka Shah. I found this absolutely fascinating. We're looking at a hidden hurdle that is literally quietly derailing some of the most well-funded tech initiatives in the business world right now. We all talk about the amazing capabilities of AI, right? But what actually happens when this cutting-edge tech hits the brick wall of a legacy corporate structure? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore.
So Shah shares this story that perfectly captures the issue. She was working with a leadership team navigating a massive AI transformation. Now, on paper, this company did everything right. They had the best tools, a huge budget, and genuine enthusiasm from top to bottom. But get this, 6 months in, progress felt like wading through molasses. When they finally dug into what was really going on, the answer wasn't some technical glitch, it was entirely structural. Every single AI initiative was getting routed through existing approval chains. Those legacy chains built for an older era where information moves slowly and every decision needed like 5 layers of sign-offs. As Shah so powerfully puts it, the bottleneck wasn't capability, it was the org chart.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core tension at the heart of the modern workplace. On the left side here, you've got fast execution. AI is literally generating complex, actionable insights in minutes. It's lightning fast. But on the right side, slow structure. The organization takes weeks and probably a dozen messy email threads just to approve an action based on those insights. This tension doesn't just magically resolve itself. It creates a massive logjam where all that incredible speed and potential just evaporates into the bureaucracy.
So how do we actually fix this? Here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the new AI bottleneck, then examine the job description problem. After that, we'll look at redesigning for AI outcomes, introduce a vital new role, the AI Orchestrator, and finally, show you your structural competitive advantage.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the new AI bottleneck.
Treating AI as just another software add-on is honestly probably the most critical mistake a company can make today. I want you to really think about this question for a second, in the context of your own company. Are you actually designed to work with AI, or are you just slapping AI on top of how you already work? Most conversations right now are completely obsessed with the tools, the skills, the productivity hacks. But very few people are talking about structure. And if you just drop a hyper-fast AI tool on top of an org design built for the 1990s, actually, scratch that, even the 2010s, you aren't transforming your business. You're just creating a very expensive frustration.
Which brings us to Section 2, the job description problem.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how this structural failure trickles all the way down to the individual employee. There's this widening gap between what we call people and what they actually do. Look at these traditional job descriptions. A marketing manager traditionally managed campaigns, right? But in an AI-augmented world, they're orchestrating whole AI-assisted content pipelines and making high-level judgment calls. A project manager used to manually track timelines. Now, they delegate that forecasting to the AI and focus on human accountability. And a business analyst used to just gather requirements, but today, they're prompting, validating, and contextualizing AI-generated analysis. The tasks are evolving from raw execution to complex human judgment. The actual work has changed entirely, but the job titles and descriptions haven't budged. And when that happens, performance metrics break down, hiring gets totally misaligned, and the true value of human context is just completely missed.
All right, Section 3, redesigning for AI outcomes. So how are the best companies actually fixing this? Well, they're actively rethinking their architecture. High-performing organizations aren't just sprinkling some AI onto their existing teams. They're going through a major paradigm shift. Traditionally, teams are designed function first. You isolate a department and ask, okay, what does this marketing or finance function need to do? But the new model is outcome first. You ask, what exact outcome are we trying to create? And what specific combination of human judgment and AI capability is going to get us there the absolute fastest? It fundamentally changes who is on the team and exactly how success is measured.
Let's move on and see how this builds, because this outcome-first approach completely changes how we view resourcing. Traditional planning asks a headcount question. How many people do we need? But AI-era resourcing looks at the capability mix. What human capabilities do we need, and where does AI extend them? It's no longer about just counting bodies in a room. Teams are becoming way more cross-functional, designed purely around human judgment and collaboration, while the AI just handles the heavy lifting of the execution layer.
And inevitably, this leads to a massive shift in decision-making. Traditional hierarchy pushes decisions all the way up the ladder for multiple sign-offs, right? But AI-era structures demand accountability, clarity. They push decisions down to the person who is closest to the context. Think about it. AI generates options incredibly quickly.
If your organization requires a long, drawn-out approval chain just to act on those options, you completely lose the speed advantage that AI was supposed to give you in the first place. It totally defeats the purpose.
So who is managing all this? That brings us to Section 4. Enter the AI Orchestrator.
This is a crucial missing puzzle piece in modern business design. To bridge that massive gap between hyperfast insight and organizational action, a brand new role is organically emerging: the AI Orchestrator. It's exactly what it sounds like, but it might not be who you expect. This is not a data scientist. This isn't your prompt engineer or your IT admin. The AI Orchestrator is a strategic curator. They're the person who bridges the gap between the raw capabilities of AI and the actual decisions the organization needs to make. They make sure AI is embedded strategically into the workflow rather than just being used as some tactical gimmick. Honestly, without this role, AI is just a tool. But with it, AI becomes a core strategic engine.
So who actually steps into this role? Shah notes that it's usually professionals who naturally possess these specific mindsets: systems thinking, a high comfort level with ambiguity, a relentless focus on value delivery, continuous learning, and a real knack for cross-functional collaboration. Now, if that list sounds familiar to you, it absolutely should. These are classic Agile mindsets. We're essentially just seeing traditional Agile frameworks being applied to a brand new technological context to manage this AI integration.
Let's bring it all together in Section 5, your structural competitive advantage.
We arrive now at the most impactful phase of this explainer. Because, look, this isn't just about survival. It's about dominating your market. For decades, competitive advantage meant having access to capital or information or massive scale. But in the AI era? So the crucial point is, the new source of competitive advantage is your organizational design. It's defined simply as the shortest distance between an AI-generated insight and human action. A team that can turn an insight into action in a few hours is going to crush a competitor operating inside a legacy structure that requires weeks of approvals every single time. At the end of the day, the winner isn't the company with the fanciest AI model. It's the company with the fastest structure.
Shah actually offers a brilliant, actionable exercise you can do today to expose your own structural bottlenecks. It's super simple. Step 1, pick just one AI-enabled workflow in your team, even a really informal one. Step 2, map it end-to-end. Trace every insight, every handoff, every single approval. And step 3, look at that map and ask yourself honestly, knowing what AI can do today, would we design this workflow this way from scratch? Almost certainly your answer is going to be no. And that gap right there between your current design and your honest answer, that is exactly where your massive structural opportunity lives.
We'll leave you with this final provocative thought to take back to your teams. Are you actively designing for the speed of insight to action, or are you just defaulting to your existing approval structures and kind of hoping the technology magically fixes the bureaucracy? The restructuring of the business world is already happening quietly all around us. The leaders who design ahead of it, they're going to capture the advantage. The leaders who wait for it to be imposed on them, well, they're simply going to be left behind. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you next time.